Welcome to ISC2 CCSP Must Know Glossary Terms, Part 4.
Term: Cloud provider. Definition: a service provider who offers customers storage or software solutions via a public network, usually the Internet. Term: Cloud provisioning. Definition: a term used to describe the deployment of a company's cloud computing strategy, which typically first involves selecting which applications and services will reside in the public cloud and which will remain on-site behind the firewall or in the private cloud.
Term: Cloud Security Alliance CSA Cloud Controls Matrix CCM. Definition: the Cloud Security Alliance Cloud Controls Matrix CCM provides the fundamental security principles that guide cloud vendors. It is designed to assist prospective cloud customers in assessing the overall security risk of a cloud provider.
Term: Cloud Security Alliance CSA. Definition: the CSA is the world's leading organization dedicated to defining and raising awareness of best practices to help ensure a secure cloud computing environment. Term: Cloud server hosting. Definition: a type of hosting in which hosting services are available to customers on demand via the Internet. Rather than being provided by a single server or virtual server, multiple connected servers provide the hosting environment.
Term: Cloud Services Broker. Definition: a third-party entity or company that looks to extend or enhance value to multiple customers of cloud-based services through relationships with multiple cloud service providers. It acts as a liaison between cloud service customers and cloud service providers, selecting the best provider for each customer and monitoring the services.
Term: Cloud storage. Definition: the storage of data online in the cloud, wherein a company's data is stored in and accessible from multiple distributed and connected resources that a cloud comprises. Term: Cloud testing. Definition: a term used to describe load and performance testing conducted on the applications and services provided via cloud computing, particularly the capability to access these services in order to ensure optimal performance and scalability under a wide variety of conditions. Term: Common criteria. Definition: the common criteria for information technology security evaluation, abbreviated as Common Criteria, or CC, is an international standard for computer security certification under ISO/IEC Standard 15408. It allows vendors to make certain security claims if their products meet the standard. Term: Common law. Definition: a set of judicial precedents passed down as case law through many generations.
Term: Community cloud. Definition: a cloud infrastructure provisioned for the use of a specific community of organizations with shared concerns, e.g., mission, security requirements, policy, and compliance considerations.
Term: Compute. Definition: as it applies to cloud computing, the term compute refers to the manipulation of some sort of data by a CPU and an associated application, such as a calculator performing multiplication on both a variable and an operand. Term: Confidentiality. Definition: refers to the concept of keeping secret information from anyone other than someone with authorized access. Term: Configuration management. Definition: the process of logging, auditing, and monitoring activities related to security controls and security mechanisms over time. This data is then used to identify agents of change, whether objects, subjects, programs, communication pathways, or even the network itself. Term: Containerization, containers. Definition: a type of virtualization that provides applications with their required libraries, configuration files, and other components. Containers do not include an operating system, and containerization technologies run on underlying operating systems while providing application isolation. Term: Continuous deployment CD. Definition: a development practice that rolls out tested changes into production automatically as soon as they have been tested. Term: Continuous integration, CI. Definition: a development practice that checks code into a shared repository on a consistent, ongoing basis. Term: Continuous monitoring.
Definition: monitoring practice that uses automation to facilitate 24/7 monitoring of systems and networks.
Term: contracts. Definition: legally binding agreements between parties that they will exchange things of value with each other.
Term: control. Definition: controls act as mechanisms designed to restrict a list of possible actions to allowed or permitted actions.
Term: corporate governance. Definition: describes the relationship between shareholders and other stakeholders in the organization versus the senior management of the corporation. Term: criminal law. Definition: a body of rules and statutes that defines conduct prohibited by the government and is set out to protect the safety and well-being of the public.
Term: cross-site scripting, XSS. Definition: XSS occurs when an application receives untrusted data and then sends it to a web browser without proper validation. This can allow attackers to execute scripts in the user's browser, hijack sessions, or perform other malicious behaviors.
Term: crypto shredding, cryptographic erasure. Definition: the process of deliberately destroying encryption keys used to encrypt the data, rendering the data unreadable by anyone.
Term: data loss prevention, DLP. Definition: describes the controls put in place by an organization to ensure that certain types of data, structured and unstructured, remain under organizational control in line with policies, standards, and procedures.
Term: data masking. Definition: a method of creating a structurally similar but inauthentic version of an organization's data, typically used for purposes like software testing and user training.
Term: database activity monitoring, DAM. Definition: a database security technology for monitoring and analyzing database activity that operates independently of the database management system, DBMS, and does not rely on any form of native, DBMS resident, auditing, or native logs, such as trace or transaction logs.
Term: degaussing. Definition: refers to the practice of using strong magnets for scrambling data on magnetic media, such as hard drives, tapes, or any other form of magnetic media.
Term: demilitarized zone, DMZ. Definition: because of trustless network access and exposure to external attacks, a demilitarized zone isolates network elements, such as email servers, that would otherwise be vulnerable.
Term: DevOps. Definition: the DevOps approach seeks to resolve issues of software development, quality assurance, and technology operations by bringing the three functions together in a single operational model. The word DevOps is a combination of development and operations, symbolizing that these functions must merge and cooperate to meet business requirements. DevSecOps, DevOps model that includes security as a core component.
Term: digital rights management, DRM. Definition: focuses on security and encryption to prevent unauthorized copying and limits distribution to those who pay.
Term: domain name system, DNS. Definition: a hierarchical distributed database that contains mappings of DNS domain names to various types of data, such as Internet Protocol, IP, addresses. DNS allows you to use friendly names, such as www.iscs2.org, as opposed to IP addresses in the location of computers and other resources on a TCP/IP-based network.
Term: domain name system security extensions, DNSEC. Definition: a suite of extensions that adds security to the domain name system DNS protocol by enabling DNS response validation. Specifically, DNSEC provides origin authority, data integrity, and authenticated denial of existence. With DNSEC, the DNS protocol is much less susceptible to certain types of attacks, particularly DNS spoofing attacks. Term: DREAD. Definition: an outdated risk assessment model created by Microsoft, which uses damage, reproducibility, exploitability, affected users, and discoverability to assess threats. Term:
Dynamic Application Security Testing, DAST. Definition: in application testing, DAST is a black box test in which the tool must discover individual execution paths. Unlike SAST, which analyzes code offline when the code is not running, DAST is used against applications in their running state. Term: e-discovery. Definition: refers to any process in which electronic data is sought, located, secured, and searched with the intent of using it as evidence in a civil or criminal legal case. Term: elliptical curve cryptography, ECC. Definition: an approach to public key cryptography using algebraic elliptic curves. ECC requires smaller keys compared to non-ECC cryptography to provide the same level of security as other forms of cryptography. Term: encryption key. Definition: a special mathematical code that allows encryption hardware or software to encode and then decipher an encrypted message. Term: encryption. Definition: an overt secret writing technique that uses a bidirectional algorithm in which humanly readable information, referred to as plaintext, is converted into humanly unintelligible information, referred to as ciphertext. Term: enterprise application. Definition: the term used to describe applications or software that a business would use to assist the organization in solving enterprise problems. Term: enterprise cloud backup. Definition: enterprise cloud backup solutions typically add essential features such as archiving and disaster recovery to cloud backup solutions. Term: enterprise DRM. Definition: an integration plan designed by Digital Equipment Corp. To provide an operation platform for multi-vendor environments. Term: enterprise risk management, ERM. Definition: the set of processes and structures used in managing risks in the enterprise. Term: ephemeral storage. Definition: this type of storage is relevant for IaaS instances and exists only as long as its instance is up. Swap files and other temporary storage needs are examples, all of which will terminate with the instance. Term: EPHI. Definition: a term used to describe electronic protected health information. Term: EU General Data Protection Regulation 2012. Definition: this regulation introduced many significant changes for data processors and controllers, such as the following: the concept of consent, transfers abroad, the right to be forgotten, establishment of the role of the data protection officer, access requests, home state regulation, increased sanctions. Term: Federal Information Security Modernization Act, FISMA. Definition: a piece of legislation that defines a comprehensive framework designed to protect U.S. government information, operations, and assets against natural or fabricated threats. Term: Federal Risk and Authorization Management Program, FedRAMP. Definition: a government-wide program that provides a standardized approach to security assessment, authorization, and continuous monitoring for cloud products and services. Term: Federated Identity Management, FIM. Definition: an arrangement that can be made among multiple enterprises that allows subscribers to use the same identification data to obtain access to the networks of all enterprises in the group. Term: Federated Single Sign-On, SSO. Definition: SSO systems allow a single user authentication process across multiple IT systems or even organizations. SSO is a subset of federated identity management, as it relates only to authentication and technical interoperability. Term: FIPS 140-2. Definition: a federal standard for accrediting and distinguishing secure and well-architected cryptographic modules produced by private sector vendors who seek to have or are in the process of having their solutions and services certified for use in U.S. government departments and regulated industries. This includes financial services and healthcare that collect, store, transfer, or share data that is deemed to be sensitive, but not classified, i.e., secret/top secret. Term: firewall. Definition:
A type of network device designed to allow only authorized traffic to cross through its interfaces. A DMZ is one part of a firewall.
Term: Generally Accepted Accounting Principles, GAAP. Definition: An AICPA term for the industry standards that are also recognized by the courts and regulators and that accountants and auditors must adhere to in professional practice. Many of these deal with elements of the CIA triad, but they also include aspects such as conflict of interest, client privacy, and so forth.
Term: Geofencing. Definition: Setting a boundary using GPS or other location awareness capabilities as part of an automation or management system. Geofencing is often used to limit where users can log in or when activities occur based on whether a device or user is inside or outside of a geographic region.
Term: Governance. Definition: The term governance, relating to processes and decisions, defines actions, assigns responsibilities, and verifies performance. The same can be said and adopted for cloud services and environments, where the goal is to secure applications and data when in transit and at rest. In many cases, cloud governance is an extension of existing organizational or traditional business process governance, with a slightly altered risk and control landscape.
Term: Graham-Leach-Bliley Act, GLBA. Definition: A federal law enacted in 1999 by the United States to allow banks to own insurance companies, and vice versa. Included in its provisions are stipulations regarding the handling of customer information, largely involving privacy.
Term: Guest escape. Definition: An attack in which the attacker is able to use one virtualized guest instance to access other virtualized instances on the same host and view, copy, or modify data stored there. Term: Hardware Security Module, HSM. Definition: A device that can safely store and manage encryption keys used in servers, data transmission, log files, and so forth.
Term: Hashing. Definition: A process that transforms input data into fixed-length output using an algorithm that creates unique outputs for each given unique input. Hashes are designed to not create collisions, the same output for multiple inputs, and are often used to validate file integrity and as part of cryptographic processes.
Term: Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, of 1996. Definition: Defines the national standards for electronic healthcare transactions and national identifiers for providers, health plans, and employers. Protected health information can be stored via cloud computing under HIPAA.
Term: Heating, Ventilation, and Air Conditioning, HVAC. Definition: HVAC systems provide air management that separates the cool air from the heat exhaust of servers. Many methods provide air management, including racks with built-in ventilation or alternating cold-hot aisles. The best design choice will depend on space and building design constraints.
Term: Honeypot. Definition: A honeypot consists of a computer, data, or a network site that appears to be part of a network, but is actually isolated and monitored, and that seems to contain information or a resource of value to attackers.
Term: Host Intrusion Detection System, HIDS. Definition: Monitors the inbound and outbound packets from the device only and will alert the user or administrator if suspicious activity is detected.
Term: Hybrid cloud storage. Definition: A combination of public cloud storage and private cloud storage, where some critical data resides in the enterprise's private cloud, while other data is stored and accessible from a public cloud storage provider.
Term: Hybrid cloud.
Definition: This cloud infrastructure consists of two or more distinct cloud infrastructures, private, community, or public, that remain unique entities but are bound together by standardized or proprietary technology that enables data and application portability, e.g., cloud bursting for load balancing between clouds. Term: Hypervisor. Definition:
A hypervisor, sometimes also called a virtual machine manager, is a program that allows multiple operating systems to share a single hardware host. These hypervisors come in two basic varieties. Type 1, which uses a minimal piece of software to manage the underlying hardware resources, such as RAM, CPU, and storage. Type 2, which has an operating system installed on the hardware and then the virtual machine manager software, or hypervisor, installed on the operating system. Term: Identity and Access Management, IAM. Definition: the security discipline that enables the right individuals to access the right resources at the right times for the right reasons.
Term: Identity Provider. Definition: the entity that creates, manages, and maintains digital identity information for an organization or federation.
Term: Identity Provider. Definition: an identity provider is responsible for A, providing identifiers for users looking to interact with a system, B, asserting to such a system that such an identifier presented by a user is known to the provider, and C, possibly providing other information about the user that is known to the provider. This can be achieved via an authentication module, which verifies a security token that can be accepted as an alternative to repeatedly and explicitly authenticating a user within a security realm. Term: Information Gathering. Definition: refers to the process of identifying, collecting, documenting, structuring, and communicating information from various sources in order to enable educated and swift decision-making to occur. Term: Information Security Management System, ISMS. Definition: a set of policies concerned with information security management, or IT-related risks. The ISMS arose primarily out of BS 7799. Term: Infrastructure as a Service, IaaS. Definition: a model of cloud computing that provides a complete infrastructure, e.g. servers and internetworking devices, and allows companies to install software on provisioned servers and control the configurations of all devices. Term: Infrastructure as Code, IAC. Definition: a design philosophy that focuses on using code to define and create infrastructure, allowing for rapid deployment, configuration changes using variables and configuration files, and similar programmatically driven advantages over traditional infrastructure implementation methods. Term: Integrity. Definition: one of the legs of the CIA triad, integrity ensures that data has not been altered by an unauthorized entity. Term: Interactive Application Security Testing, IAAST. Definition: uses monitoring inside of applications to test them while they are running. It leverages agents that monitor applications, looking for issues throughout them. Term: Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF. Definition: an international organization of network designers and architects who work together in establishing standards and protocols for the standardization of the Internet. Term: Internet of Things, IoT. Definition: a broad term used to describe Internet-connected devices that combine processors, sensors, and data in a connected way. The IoT is ubiquitous and can be challenging to secure due to the sheer number and variety of embedded and connected devices it is composed of. Term: Interoperability. Definition: defines the ease of ability with which application components are moved and reused elsewhere, regardless of the provider, platform, OS, infrastructure, location, storage, or the format of the data or APIs. Term: Intrusion Detection System, IDS. Definition: a security device or software that scans network traffic to detect and alert on unwanted or malicious traffic. Term: Intrusion Prevention System. Definition: a security device or software that is placed in line to potentially detect, block, and alert on unwanted or malicious traffic. Term: ISO/IEC 27113. Definition: helps organizations establish and maintain an information security management system, ISMS. An ISMS is a set of interrelated elements that organizations use to manage and control information security risks and to protect and preserve the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. Term: ISO IEC 27018. Definition: addresses the privacy aspects of cloud computing for consumers and is the first international set of privacy controls in the cloud. Term: ISO/IEC 27034-1. Definition: represents an overview of application security. It introduces definitions, concepts, principles, and processes involved in application security.
Term IDLE. Definition: IDLE, formerly known as the Information Technology Infrastructure Library, is a set of practices that focus on aligning IT services with business needs.
Term: jurisdiction. Definition: the geographic area over which a law applies.
Term: key management. Definition: includes the generation, storage, distribution, deletion, archiving, and application of keys in accordance with a formal security policy.
Term: legacy. Definition: refers to traditional types of IT tools and technologies. Term: local area network, LAN. Definition: LANs are the backbone of infrastructure. They are logical groupings of devices that allow traffic to be contained and operate at high speeds.
Term: logical design. Definition: a part of the design phase of the software development lifecycle, SDLC, in which all functional features of the system chosen for development in the analysis are described independently of any computer platform.
Term: long-term storage. Definition: write once, read many, or WARM, is a type of long-term storage, meaning it is written initially and can only be used for reading purposes thereafter.
Term: machine learning. Definition: a type of programmatic learning that allows programs to develop new behaviors or to respond to inputs in new ways over time. Machine learning is typically considered a subset of artificial intelligence.
Term: managed service provider. Definition: an IT service provider to which the customer dictates both the technology and operational procedures.
Term: management plane. Definition: administrative network used to provide access to back-end resources restricted to administrators. Term: masking. Definition: a weak form of confidentiality assurance that replaces the original information with asterisks or X's.
Term: master service agreement. Definition: a document that describes how two organizations intend to work together over time. Work is then described in statements of work, SOWs.
Term: maximum tolerable downtime, MTD. Definition: the longest amount of time that a business function is able to continue without access to a particular service.
Term: mean time between failures, MTBF. Definition: MTBF represents the mean or average time between the time a device is brought into service and the time it will typically fail or require repair.
Term: mean time to repair, MTTR. Definition: MTTR represents the average time required to repair a device that has failed or requires repair. Term: Microsoft Azure. Definition: a Microsoft cloud service offering that provides platform as a service, PaaS, allowing developers to create cloud applications and services.